Hey everybody, we're back. It's SNG Weekly at the studio here. Of course, where else would we be, right? We've been rearranging things here in the showroom, which has really been a lot of fun. This week, we are going to be working on the Mars Attacks Mobius model kit. We're probably going to finish it this week because we need it to do our shoot, because it's actually something I'm working on during the film. So we have shooting to do either Saturday or starting Monday, and all through next week off and on we're going to be shooting Martians Attacks SNG. So we're going to be working on that model, so you're going to get to see us work on that. I'm going to show you a little bit about packing and some other odds and ends around here, but that's the main focus this week. We're also going to show you the beginning of something new. And this is what it is. I got this little package the other day, and Chris Wright has been helping me of Beer Dog Racing. We're going to build a slot car, a 1/32 Formula slot car. And this is the frame that I just got in the mail for it, which is stainless steel and all laser cut, probably with a CO2 laser. Tiny little thing, very intricate. You're going to see this come together with all the electronics in it. This is a very high-end slot car. And then we're going to scratch build a body for it, a Formula body, a Cooper to be exact, and build an entire scratch-built Formula One 1/32 scale racing car that you will see actually function on the track. So this is something I'm going to be working on, and I'm actually going to offer the body as well, and I may do some other ones depending on how it goes with the first one. So that's going to be pretty neat stuff. So in addition, we got this. Mary and I both got one of these, and of course this is the Museum of Science Fiction.org. Just go to the link down here. And please give us your support, because this is going to be a great museum. This is going to be, and I know I've said this before, but we get lots of new people watching the show for the first time. It's a museum kind of like the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and it's going to showcase beautiful models like this big Enterprise and all kinds of models and props and costumes from the great sci-fi and fantasy films of all time. So please lend us your support. Go to the link below and become part of this. We'd really appreciate it. So let's get on with our show. Okay, when painting one of these, first thing you got to do is get off that rubber seam. And I know a lot of you are wondering, how do you do that? That don't, you know, if you don't make masks, you've never made a mask, or maybe you've made some and you've cut them close and painted over them. You can take a Dremel tool with a felt buffer tip like this on there and just do this. It's very effective, but this is how we get rid of the seeds. Cool, huh? So that's how you do the first step. The second step, we're going to take 120 grit sandpaper like this and some lacquer thinner, and you get it wet, wear gloves, and go outside and sand it like so, and it'll smooth it over. Now, as you can see, we've gotten rid of all the blemishes and little boogers and stuff, and we've got very little seam showing, and by the time you paint it, this will look just perfect. All right, first off, I'm going to start with a shading color right on the raw rubber before I do the actual sort of flesh tone I put over it. Alright, now we have the flush color on, which is quite thin, quite pale. And it's freckling, which I really like that look. Boy, is it noisy here today, but you guys get the idea. You can see I put some pink in there too, little bits of pink here and there, very, very slightly. And you can see all the lovely detail too. That's, take this and put this over here, and you can see a little bit better the paint job. Very translucent. It's nice. Now I'm going to glaze the eyes, and I've mixed up some very, just 30-minute epoxy, and I'm going to just put that on here carefully. It'll run all smooth once you do this. It works best when you use a brush, but the Q-tips do work. You don't want to use too much, because what happens is it runs and drips. So you just want to use just enough. Get that on there. You know what I'm going to do? I do not like these Q-tips. I'm going to go get a brush. Now you can reclaim the brush with acetone, usually, but I don't find it's very successful. You can see how much better that works. It's a little milky, but it will dry clear. But it's probably air, and it'll go away. And that's basically how you do that. And there we go. This is looking really, really nice. The base is done. I still have to glue this on. I put black felt on the bottom. I need maybe to get this down a little bit further in there. But the eyes came out beautiful. I had a problem with them. I had to take off all the epoxy as best I could because it was turning white. And I don't know what caused that, but it may have been a contamination from the brush or even the cup that I used to mix it in. And I got some fuzzies on here which are just crumbs, but ultimately this thing is just beautiful and will be really nice. You see down here I put a little bit of moisture on the lips with a little bit of the epoxy, which breathes some more life into it. And this will be also hit with a little bit of crystal clear Krylon to moisten it up a bit, but not too much. I think it came out really, really well. I'm very pleased with it. And another communion bus goes out into the world and finds its place in a home in Germany that Kevin will have. So Kevin, thanks so much for your order. We'll get this out to you next week. I soon realized that there would be a problem with those fiber optics getting around these corners and into that gun. So what I've done instead is took some magnetic wire and ran it through. I have since light blocked and painted the gun. I drilled the 3 holes for that right there, and I'm going to put some fiber optics in there, and I'm just going to put a single bulb, small bulb, inside the gun and light it up. Because it's light blocked, it will transmit light to the fiber optic. So I'm just holding this together by hand. The gun's light block and painted somewhat, and the gunmetal, and inside there is an LED, one small little LED that comes out there, and that does very nicely light up the gun. Here you can see the inside of the gun, and I took that 3mm LED and I frosted it, and which helps spread the light more. And what I've done here, of course, you can see the little little, well, there, you can see, they're tinted. And so we've got our red and our green, and when those go over that, they'll of course glow. So I've done a little bit more work on this, and what I've done is, well, you can see that the two red chest lights are lit up. I'll turn these lights off because they probably look brighter. They're light up, they're lit up, they're red. We obviously have some light blocking to do. I'm pleased, I'm really pleased with how this all turned out. I think it's really going to be very, very nice when it's all together, and it adds a lot to it, and I've always wanted to put some lights on that gun. So here's what we got left to do. I've been a busy boy on this model, and I forgot to show you some of the things I was doing, but as you can see, I have got dust on this. It's just dust. Okay, these colors, this is not turquoise. I actually matched to the card. That yellow sort of green on the gloves and the boots, and also on the body there's a little bit of blue in there, kind of turquoise, but it's really green and really yellow and some white mixed in there and stuff. The gun is not permanently glued in yet because it needs to be finished being painted, but I've been working on that, and of course I did his head, which looks pretty cool, and that's based on the cards as well. And then I'm working on this now, and it's all been sanded down. We're ready to primer this, and then I'm going to use hairspray and stuff and do some chipped rusted things, which will look cool. Paint this. This gets painted red, of course, which I'm about to do. These get painted black, and I've got this poor guy here to do, and I'm not going to just have the bones showing because it should look like some barbecued spare ribs, so there'll be a little bit of white showing here and there. I'm going to have some cakey stuff on there like he's been barbecued. Okay, we are painting, and painting things black, and painting things primer, painting things to look like stone and granite, and over here I have primered this. And I've also put rust on it, and the idea here is I've taken some hairspray and put it in various locations, which once I spray paint this sort of gunmetal dark color over it, I will then chip off the paint to have some rust chips and stuff, which is really, really cool. Also, you'll notice that these are open. I grind them open from the back. I'm going to have a little bit of a red glow coming up from there, which will be really kind of cool. What I'm about to do now is put a wash on this, and I got a basic brownish, reddish, blackish sort of, aging material that I'm going to take this brush and brush over that and then rub it off. Well, we've been busy. I've been doing lots of painting and stuff, and one thing that I'm really not happy with is when you spray matte on something and it comes out shiny. This is matte clear, so I've got to go in by hand to dull some of this stuff down, but it's getting there, and I finally got some gunmetal on that, and I've kind of antiqued it a bit to make it look a bit worn and weathered. I think some silver is supposed to go on these, which I forgot to do, but I'll do that. The main thing I want to do is get this head in position next, and think about closing up with clear canopy glue the bubble helmet, which has to go on after the head is in. Well, I'm doing the hardest part now, and that's getting the canopy closed, which isn't too hard, but you have to put that part on first, and then this part on like that, and then there's something down here I don't understand that's showing here. What is that? That's flash. We have to get rid of that, but you don't really want to sand any flash off or it won't look clear. Just a little piece right there. If I sand it off, it will be less than clear. What I'm going to glue this together with is you understand that? Clear canopy glue, because I'm really worried about using the melting stuff and then having it run all over the place. At least with the canopy glue, it dries clear. So they say. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of that glue on there, and we're going to get that together like that. Canopy glue is on, and I taped it together with some blue tape, and it didn't mess it up at all. It stayed clear. It really worked wonderful. It's already, wow, that stuff dries fast. Drying. So that was good. Yeah, it's always nerve-wracking, but Testors Window Maker or clear parts glue. This stuff really is good. And I'm not sure, but I think it's kind of rubbery, and you can actually get it apart again if you have to, which is kind of cool too. So there we've got a red light, which I'm going to sand and diffuse up a little bit here first. I'll scatter light there. And then I'll put some diffusion underneath there too, but just for now I'm going to do this. You can see what that's doing. Isn't that cool? Just, wow, all of a sudden you start getting more and more light because it's not as directional. Now this is going to go under here. This time I have it, and it's going to give us, once I position it in the spot I want it to be positioned in, a nice red glow. And so here's the completed model in some low lighting conditions. I'm really pleased how it came out. I really love the gun lights that are working. Of course, we got our glow coming from the sewer. Street lights lit up. And back here, we've got a nice plug here. This unplugs. Dunk, like that. See? Isn't that nice? And of course the whole thing is independent if I unplug that, and finished off on the bottom. Nice piece of styrene in there. You can see down into here there's like gravel and things down in there. So I'm pleased. I think it came out great for a 4-day build. Let's see if we can show this guy here a little bit. His entrails and guts and stuff. He's pretty messed up. I charred him up and stuff and put black stuff and soot on him as well. And a happy accident is that his guts are glowing a bit, like they've just been rayed. Isn't that cool? I didn't even notice that before. It's doing it there too. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put some shade on it so you can see what I mean. I love it. Okay. So anyway, that completes this model, and of course we'll be able to shoot with this. And if you're watching Model Man Tom, we have this. It will be up here, and I'll be working at it when Rosie goes downstairs and gets me the magnifying glass to do some touch-up paint. Well, it sure was fun this week building the Mars Attacks model. I mean, it really just takes me back. I mean, that is the look from the cards, which you all know I prefer. It was really fun to do that. Now we have our model in place so that we can do those scenes. I'm very excited about that. Next week you're going to start seeing more on the big 66-inch Enterprise being built for the Museum of Science Fiction. And keep in mind that we are accepting contributions to fund this project, because the project is not being done for profit. It is being done to put in the museum, and it's going to take a bit to build this model and do all the parts and get all the electronics and everything else for it. I want to thank you all for your contributions so far to it, but we could still use more. There's a long way to go on this model. I want to thank Ken Palco. Ken and I have been talking back and forth. He is building one of these models as well for himself, and he's building us an aluminum support armature inside, which is really going to be quite beautiful. I don't have anything like this in my first model, so it's going to be really a sight to behold, because Ken does such fantastic work, as you all know. Additionally, keep in mind that the Museum of Science Fiction.org can also use your help to get this museum funded, to get the preview museum built, which is what they're hoping to do next year. And so far, so good. Thank you for all your support on that. So next week, we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be working on the big TOS. We also have the Moonliner upcoming. My friend Mike Dawkin, who's been a big supporter of SNG in the past and presently, has sent us a nearly 40-inch tall TWA moonliner. And besides 2001, that TWA moonliner I stood in front of in 1958, that big giant full-size thing at Disneyland, and that really got me. It really launched me and my imagination to put me where I am right now. So to get that model and build that, we're going to make that part of the show, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Mike, thanks so much for that. Well, that pretty much covers it for now, and we'll see you all again next week. Have a great weekend.